Welcome back to Get You Done with Summer. I always give you powerful strategies and tools to help you elevate your business and mindset. And I also bring to you very powerful, interesting people, the best of the best of the best, those people that you really should know. I am Summer Selva. I am a digital marketing expert, and today I have an incredible guest, someone whose work has been recognized globally for its transformative impact on mind and the performance of the mind. Today, we're talking about the brilliant Morry Zelcovitch. He created something called the Morry method because he's Morry. Morry has spent over 40 years perfecting the science of brainwave entrainment. This is a technology that you can literally tune your mind into for success. He's one of the very few certified brainwave entrainment engineers in the whole world. So not only has this cutting edge technology been recognized by a Brazilian university for its effectiveness, but also I would say thousands of people around the world. People swear by his recordings. I do too. I have used it personally, and this has been mind-blowing for me. Quantum mind power, quantum confidence. He's going to tell you all about it in a few minutes. You are in for a treat because people, if you haven't met Morry yet, this is your time. Once you're done listening to this, look into the descriptions below. You'll find every way and method to find more about Morry and connect with him personally. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Morry. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's an honor, really. I appreciate the opportunity to, help people to help themselves. That's essentially what I do, and that's my purpose to be on this planet. So again, thank you for having me.
You are wonderful as you are. So let's jump right in. I want to ask you so many questions. And some of our viewers may have never heard of brainwave entrainment or BWE as you call it. Can you explain what exactly it is and how it works, like in simple terms for everybody to understand?
Sure, that's the only way I know because I actually don't understand it if it's complicated either.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. Our brains react. Our brains are made up of billions of cells, and those cells are called neurons. And the way a neuron behaves is it pulses an electric signal. So it doesn't pulse like a heart pulses, but it pulses like it shoots, almost like a little gun, shooting out little electric pulses, little electric currents. Depending on how many times a second those pulses come out of the neuron and the location, that dictates the kind of chemistry, things like endorphins, hormones, neurotransmitters. That kind of creates a soup, if you will. And if that soup tastes good, your life tastes good. And if that soup tastes like crap, your life tastes like crap.
Absolutely.
So basically, it's the chemistry that gives you the perception of your experience. So what brainwave entrainment does is it takes your brain and it guides it into specific states. So all of us have heard of alpha, theta, gamma, delta, beta.
Right.
These are just kind of placeholders, if you will, for a range of brainwave entrainment, for a range of frequency. How many times that neuron is pulsing per second. That's all that is. When we can influence your neuronal activity so that it actually pulses the way we want it to, that means we're helping your brain to create chemistry naturally that is better for you. Our world is set up so that there's too much stress, too much anxiety, too much of this.
Yes, absolutely.
And it creates a situation where our brains don't really get an opportunity to have a dominant frequency for more than a split second. That means it only produces the chemistry associated with that for a split second. That's a problem because we're designed to run on more of this natural chemistry that our brains produce. But because we don't, we get depressed, we get anxious, we get stressed out, we get all these different things. That's the issue brainwave entrainment deals with and fixes, because your brain follows these frequencies. My recordings, basically you put on a pair of headphones. I wish I had a pair close, but you put on a pair of headphones, you hit play, and what you're going to hear, just for straight brainwave entrainment, I won't get complicated here, is you're going to hear shh in both ears. That's a mask. Kind of sounds like white noise to someone. It's actually 600 frequencies laid over top of each other. That I picked individual frequencies. I created that particular background like years ago, and I'll never do it again because it was so much work. But most of the frequencies are there to block external noise, kind of act like a mask. Kids playing in the background, traffic, airplanes flying overhead, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some frequencies that are resonant frequencies. In other words, they vibrate in unison with certain regions of the human brain.
Mm-hmm.
They're designed to what I call hyperactivate those regions. And that prepares your brain for the entrainment tone itself. And believe it or not, it's pretty repetitive. So you're going to hear something like bop, 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 bop,
Right.
bop. And as you hear that, your brain will slowly entrain or follow that frequency. So your neurons, which are all over the place, will start going in sync with the frequency I'm presenting you with.
Mm-hmm.
That creates the entrainment, that creates the chemistry, that creates the experience. For those of you who don't believe me, you've all experienced entrainment already.
How?
Well, do you like music?
Yes,
Have you ever listened to music?
of course.
Hey, have you ever noticed yourself tapping your toes without thinking that you're tapping your toes, or bopping your head or moving even to the music? Because
Absolutely, yes.
that's entrainment. That's your body, different parts of your body entraining to the beat of the music, to the sound of the music.
How
So everybody's
fascinating.
experienced this. I target the neurons. I target your brain for that, because the brain is a muscle and your brain is the central processing unit of your life. You know, when I was a kid, we were taught how to think, how to do things, how to figure things out. Now, a lot of schools teach you how to look for things.
Correct. That is sad, but
That
true.
is sad. But with brainwave entrainment, it helps to kind of move that muscle that is your brain and keep it going in these times where you're not really exercising it yourself.
Mhm.
I have doctors and clinicians who use this stuff for Alzheimer's disease.
And of
Now,
course, it's
that's not
worked.
saying that it's a cure for Alzheimer's disease. I'm not saying that
Okay.
at all. But they're using it to help with, existing treatments and other things.
That totally
Uh,
makes sense.
Yeah, because it activates the brain, right? The whole idea is to help the brain. There's research that shows gamma frequencies in a certain range may
Mhm.
even help wake up the amyloid protein, the beta amyloid protein that gums up the works between the neurons. And there is significant research coming out that's showing that to be, something that is definitely in play.
That's fascinating. I wish more medical facilities use this technology to help people with, Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. That's really the need of the day. So many people with dementia. Like if they could use this technology, quality of life, I think, could be like mind-blowingly great. Now I know many of our viewers are solopreneurs, like they're also small business owners. So tell me one thing, Morry, how can someone in a leadership position or people that are building their own business use this brainwave entrainment to boost their own performance, boost their leadership skills?
Well, stress and anxiety play a large role in business.
Absolutely.
Nervous tension, all these things. By adjusting our brainwave frequency, we can adjust how we act and react to stimulation around us or to stressors.
Mm-hmm.
Going into a big important meeting, it could make my career or it could make me homeless. That's a
Yes.
reason to get nervous. That's a reason to
Mm-hmm.
get worried. That's a reason to sweat. That's a reason to ruin the meeting because you're so busy worrying about how do I look? How do I sound? Do I smell bad? Oh no, do I have I had lettuce for lunch. Did I forget to, all these kinds of things. Right? I realize that's a little silly, but the bottom line is these are concerns that people have, and these concerns get in the way. Brainwave entrainment can calm the mind and allow you to be yourself and to be your best because it helps to clean out the crap. But on top of that, there are different brain states that people tend to experience and exhibit when they are in different states themselves. So when people are trying to solve problems, when they're trying to be creative,
Mm-hmm.
when they're trying to be more courageous, to take more risks, to take more chances, all these things, for the successful people who do these things, there seems to be almost a generalized frequency range that is dominant in the brain at that time.
Mm-hmm.
With this kind of information, I can create systems that help you to learn how to mimic those frequencies so that you can get the benefits that these people naturally get. Now, they're not probably natural at it. They just access these states more readily than, maybe me or you. But we can learn how to do that. And the beautiful thing is, this is learning without education. This is learning without school.
Mm-hmm.
So entrepreneurs can be better at their jobs. They can be more creative. Let's face it, the more confident you are in yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you end up exhibiting and exuding that confidence. So the more confident you are in yourself, the more confidence you inspire from others.
100% true.
Right. And if you want to run a business, if you want to run a successful business, you better come across as confident, because the last thing
Absolutely.
you want to do is to say, like, let's role play. You're going to be a potential client and I'm going to be trying to sell you on something. And I'm going to go, so, I have this service and it can really, it can really help you to,
Oh my God, I'm definitely not buying from you if you
clients.
talk like that.
Well, that's my point though, right? Now I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
an extreme to make a point,
Mm-hmm.
but losing the eye contact is a big problem.
Yes.
People don't have eye contact. They're looking off to the side. What are they looking at? Why won't they look at me? Are they lying to me? Are they dishonest? I mean, there's all kinds of body language involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brainwave entrainment allows you, it doesn't make you superhuman. It doesn't give you super abilities. What it does is it makes you human. It makes you the way you're supposed to be. It's normal. If everybody killed somebody, then it would be normal to kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean it's right. It just means it's normal. Most people
Right.
make the assumption that normalcy is, good,
Yes.
but it's not. Being comfortable in your skin, being confident, being aware of the person's needs. So I go in there with a presentation in my mind, but I'm open to changing lanes without signaling, is what I call it.
Mm-hmm.
To going off in another direction if I see I'm losing the person I'm speaking with. Maybe I'm boring them. Maybe I'm not speaking in a language that they care to hear or understand. Conversations are two-way. Even presentations are two-way. You're standing on a stage as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Promoting a service or a knowledge or something, you need to look at your audience. You need to see how they're engaging. When you go to a Zoom meeting, and let's say it's especially like a webinar or something, it's very common to have three, out of 20, 25 people in a Zoom room who are watching the presentation. It's very common to see 3 or 4 of them on camera and the rest of them are off camera.
Right.
So what are they doing?
Not being confident.
Not being confident. They're also probably not paying attention. They're probably doing other things. So they're kind of listening with part of an ear. They're not listening with the whole ear, full attention. So that can teach you things. That can teach you that maybe I need to be really engaging, because if they're not watching, and they're probably not, because the reason why the camera's off. Why is the camera off? Very few people have the camera off because they don't want to be on camera, because everybody's on camera.
Yes.
They have the camera off because they don't want people to see what they're doing. Maybe they're eating. Maybe they're smoking. Maybe they're drinking. And I don't mean, beet juice, right? They could be popping a beer while you're drinking there, right? So we can use these little cues to help us to be better at what we do. And all it takes is a little, they say it takes like 7 to 21 to 30 touches before you make a sale.
The number keeps changing. Yep.
Well, that's the thing. And people already know whether they want to be your friend within a few seconds of meeting you. It doesn't mean you're going to be their friend, but it means they know that if everything falls into place,
friendable.
Yeah, they're credible, they're nice, I feel a connection.
Yep.
That's what you want to do. And the easiest way to find that connection is to not be trying to rule the meeting as much as it is. Try to engage them, try to get them interested, try to talk to them. Try to, if it is a lecture with question and answer later, try to get them to ask you questions. Try to get them to let you know what they want, so you can relate whatever it is that you're going to offer in the end. Because let's face it, very few webinars are purely informational. Most of them say, I'm here, I want to give you actionable points, but at the same time, I've got a product after that I'd like you to buy too, because I think the product will get you where you need to go faster than just doing the, quote unquote free stuff.
So what you're saying is, using your program, it makes people more confident. It makes people act the normal way, where people accept them better.
It allows them to get out of their own way.
That's a good way to say it.
That's the real thing. Because confidence, I'm not so sure, is a feeling of something you have as much as it's a feeling of something you think you don't have.
Gotcha. Okay.
You can kind of pretend to be confident and actually gain confidence, because people will start treating you that way. I was a mess when I was younger. And when I meet up with people who I haven't seen in like 10, 20, 30 years, they all treat me like I was back then.
Well, people evolve, right?
Because
Morry,
that's
every single thing that you're saying is just blowing me away. Now, on a personal note, Morry, I
yeah.
want to thank you because your work has actually helped me deal with my trauma. That was back in 2022. I am pretty sure you remember. It was through some of your recordings. It was a gift, and it really, really helped me a big deal. Now, for other people that might be suffering with trauma, how can brainwave entrainment support their healing process?
So here's the thing. I can speak from my experience. The thing about an expert, especially in the self-help field, something like that, all they can really talk about, all most of us can talk about, is our own experience, because
Right.
that's all we had. I didn't have your
Mm-hmm.
experience. I didn't have other
Mm-hmm.
people's experience. But that being said, the interesting thing is that the feeling of trauma is a feeling. It's chemistry, it's thoughts, it's stimulation that makes us feel that way. So when I was super depressed, the whole world was dark around me.
Mm.
It was literally like walking through pitch blackness all the time. The thing about pitch blackness is the smallest pinprick of light is obvious and it's easy to see.
Mm.
So the idea behind brainwave entrainment and why I find it to be so successful at helping people to help themselves is that when we are going through the trauma, nothing can make us feel better.
Yes.
It's like, I know you're trying to help me. I know you're trying to be sweet. You're giving me your shoulder to cry on, and I appreciate it.
Mm.
But you don't understand. How can you
But it's
understand?
not going to work. Yes, that's what people
Yeah.
would think when
And
they're
that's
going
what
through
it,
something like that. Yeah.
right. So the thing about brainwave entrainment is because it's not your choice to follow the frequencies that I'm presenting, because it happens naturally because of a feature called the frequency following response. That's the same thing that makes you bop your head and tap your toes.
Mm-hmm.
The chemistry will naturally subtly change.
Mm-hmm.
When the chemistry subtly changes, your experience subtly changes too.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the power, if you ask me, of brainwave entrainment, because it's like taking an Ativan. Okay, I don't know if any of you know Ativan, but that's a major, like, they prescribe that
It's
to
a
people.
scary prescription. Yes.
A scary prescription, but it'll
Mm-hmm.
calm you down. Like, you dissolve it under your tongue, and literally
Mm.
within 5-10 minutes at most, you feel very different.
Mm.
Thing with entrainment is because it's subtly altering your brainwave activity, that's going to alter your chemistry. And remember, your chemistry is what is making you feel what you feel. So if you could feel just a little bit different, even just a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big deal. That's like seeing that little pinprick of light, but it stands out a lot because it's a pinprick of light in the darkness. So that's what entrainment does. It becomes a pinprick of light in the darkness. And when you feel just a little bit different, sorry, I shouldn't speak for others. When I feel a little bit different, it stands out and it's a powerful emotion. And when I go from feeling like nothing's going to help, nothing's going to change, wait a minute, I feel a little better.
Yes.
That is a consciousness shift that is invaluable. And that, I think, is the benefit, or one of the main benefits of entrainment, because the one-time listening, the feeling you get isn't going to necessarily change the world for you, but it can change how you look at the world just enough that you can see the benefit of, what if I do this regularly? What if if I'm feeling even a little itty bitty bit better and I just
And I
listen
love this
once
feeling.
an
Mm-hmm.
hour, that's right. Wait a minute, now I do feel a little different. Maybe I don't have to feel like this my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible power when it comes to trauma, depression, all these types of things.
Super powerful. It's incredible. And everything you've been telling me so far is so inspiring. Now, Morry, your work is clearly changing lives. I've heard not only from you, but from others that have used your program and changed their lives. And I can't thank you enough for sharing your wisdom with us, with my audience here today. All right, solopreneurs, if today's conversation sparked something in you, make sure you check out Morry's incredible work. Everything you need to know is in the description below. You'll find his LinkedIn. Connect with him on LinkedIn first. That's where I think he would like to meet you first, right, Morry?
Sure, LinkedIn's the best. I actually get notifications from LinkedIn. I don't get notifications from Facebook. I don't get notifications from Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Email is good too, but LinkedIn I follow carefully. So I won't miss
Very
you
wonderful.
on LinkedIn.
Absolutely. People get in touch with Morry on his LinkedIn, look at his website, and also listen to the podcast he has embedded in his website. I've been listening to those, and it's amazing. Like, this brainwave entrainment can do so much. Like, listen to each and every single episode. You will find it mind blowing. And if you
And I
already haven't, go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to point out that the most important part of my work is you. It's your brain.
The most important part of Morry's work is you.
Yeah, it truly is. Because it's your brain that does all the heavy lifting. My work is
Mhm.
just inspiring your brain to do what it is designed to do. That's all. So always feel great about yourself when you feel better, because it's really all you. If you get my work and you let it sit and gather dust on the hard drive, so I call it gathering cyber dust on the hard drive of your computer or your phone, it's not going to work. Your choice to do something, your choice to listen to the recordings, your choice to do anything in your life
Mhm.
makes everything under your control. And if you get good results, if you're benefiting, then thank yourself. Because again, my work is useless without you using it. So
That's a powerful takeaway for today's episode, right?
yeah.
And if you haven't already, you guys, listeners, smash that subscribe button and hit notification so that when I have coffee with other incredible people, you will be the first to know. Until next time, remember, you got the power to get shit done. See you soon.